What's up guys? You know, we haven't tested many Samsung products on our channel Tech Brothers, but after the Samsung Galaxy M15, I see that you are very interested in this brand. That's why I decided to review a new smartphone from Samsung with the model name M15 5G. This is a budget phone under $200 with a 6.5-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED display, Mediatek Dimensity 6100 Plus 5G chipset, 50 megapixels, triple camera, and a 6000 mAh battery. So this is one of the most affordable Samsung phones in 2024 with pretty good features. Today we will do a full review of the Samsung Galaxy M15 5G and talk about its design, display, performance, and play games, test the camera, battery, and much more. First, let's do a quick unboxing. You know, the box of the Samsung Galaxy M15 5G is quite compact, which leads me to believe that there is no power adapter inside. We will check that a bit later. The sticker at the bottom says that I have a version with 4 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. My phone is dark blue, but you can also choose it from gray and light blue colors. Opening the box, first we see an envelope with warranty card, user manual, and USB Type-C cable. Then there's the smartphone itself in the box. You will also find a SIM needle at the bottom of the box, but as I guessed, there is no power adapter. To be honest, I am not surprised, because all the latest Samsung phones do not have a power adapter included. So let's move on to design of the Galaxy M15 5G. As already said, my phone is dark blue, although the back panel is made of plastic. It has a very nice flat pattern. The panel is smooth, but not textured, as it may look. There is a Samsung logo, triple camera and flashlight on the rear panel. We will come back to the cameras later in this video. The new Samsung smartphone has a Fingerprint Reader under the power button on the side. It works very well. In addition, the Galaxy M15 5G has face recognition, but I prefer to use a fingerprint scanner, and there is also a volume rocker next to the power button. The slot for dual SIM and microSD memory card is on the other side of the phone. This is a hybrid slot, so you need to choose between a second SIM card and a memory card. And there is only a microphone on top. If we will look at the bottom, we will see 3.5mm audio jack, microphone, USB-C port, and speaker. I already forgot about the 3.5mm jack. Does anyone still use it? Write in the comments below if you do. Overall, the Samsung Galaxy M15 5G feels budget because of the plastic body. By the way, the frame is also made of matte plastic. However, you will most likely use the smartphone in a protective case, so it is not a big deal. Talking about size and weight of the phone, its dimensions are 160.1 by 76.8 by 9.3 mm. The weight is 217 grams. You know, it is pretty lightweight smartphone. I also like it has a 6.5-inch display, so it is comfortable to hold in one hand. Since this is a budget phone, it has a water drop notch and a noticeable bezel around the screen, especially at the bottom. However, the display looks very high quality. It has a Full HD Plus resolution, 1080 by 2340 pixels, 90 Hz refresh rate, and 800 nit brightness. This is a Super AMOLED panel with a 16 million color depths. Maybe it's been a while since I have tested a Samsung smartphone, but this screen looks much better than Chinese phones. First, it has very rich colors. In addition, the image is very sharp, so you won't see a single pixel when you look at the screen very close. Overall, I feel like this is a flagship display in a budget case. It is very nice to watch videos on this screen. From other side, the Galaxy M15 has only one speaker at the bottom. It has a good volume level and decent sound quality, but the stereo speakers would be better. I was a little surprised that the Samsung Galaxy M15 5G is powered by Mediatek chipset, but not Exynos. For example, last year's Galaxy M14 had an Exynos processor. As for the new Galaxy M15, it is equipped with a Dimensity 6100 Plus chipset with 6nm process technology and 5G support. I also have a version of the smartphone with 4GB of RAM and 128GB of built-in storage. I am very interested in testing the performance of the Galaxy M15 5G. But before that, let's talk a little about the software. I think one of the main features of leading smartphone brands like Samsung is the software. The Galaxy M15 5G runs on Android 14 operating system with One UI 6.1 user interface. If you open the official website, you will see that the company promises up to 4 generations of OS updates and up to 5 years of security maintenance, which Chinese smartphones can offer the same. Another feature of the Galaxy M15 5G is the Samsung Knox Vault. This is hardware-based security for your sensitive data such as pins, password, patterns, etc. Security is very important now. Also, the Galaxy M15 has many pre-installed apps such as SmartThings, Health, Wearable, Google Apps, Microsoft Apps, and even Spotify and Netflix. I find them very useful. Unlike Chinese smartphones such as Xiaomi, there are no ads in the user interface. The system works very fast and smoothly. I have only noticed minor problems in Play Store when scrolling. However, I think this is because they have a slow Wi-Fi network. I believe that Samsung smartphones are bought for their user interface. Okay, now let's move on to the performance test. First, I want to run some benchmarks. The Samsung Galaxy M15 5G has 370,348 points in AnTuTu benchmark. I think this is a very good result for a budget phone. There is also 689 points in a single-core test and 1837 points in a multi-core test of GeekBench 6. Finally, let's run the 3D Mark benchmark. We are recommended to run a wildlife test. The overall score is 1228 points. The benchmark's results are pretty good, but let's play some more games. I don't play mobile games, so I don't know what's popular right now. I downloaded PUBG Mobile, Genshin Impact, Call of Duty, and Asphalt 9. Let's play them in order. First, the maximum graphics and FPS in PUBG Mobile are HD and high. Let's play a little without my comments. It is quite comfortable to play games on the Galaxy M15 5G, but it is definitely not a gaming phone. Although I didn't notice any problems with the performance while gaming. The graphics left some room for improvement. On the other hand, this is a budget smartphone under $200. Its performance is good for the price. Samsung flagship smartphones have some of the best cameras on the market, but what about the budget ones? The Galaxy M15 5G has a triple camera on the rear panel with a 50 megapixels main sensor, 5 megapixels ultra-wide sensor, and 2 megapixels macro sensor. On the front panel, there is a 13 megapixels camera. In the camera app, we have some shooting modes such as Fun, Portrait, Photo, and Video. You can also click on More and find other modes such as Pro, Panorama, Food, Night, Macro, Slow Motion, and Hyperlapse. By default, the photos are taken with a 12 megapixels resolution, but you can tap on the icon at the top of the screen and switch to 50 megapixels. There is also a flashlight, timer, aspect ratio, and filters available. As for the camera settings, here we have a scene optimizer, scan QR codes, watermark, high efficiency pictures, and many other settings. By the way, the maximum video recording resolution is Full HD at 30 FPS. Let's look at some photos that I took yesterday. You should know that I had cloudy weather, so the pictures are not as colorful as they could be in a sunny weather. By the way, I am very glad that the Galaxy M15 5G has a wide-angle sensor. This is my favorite photo mode. You can also take pictures at 2x zoom. As for me, the quality doesn't even degrade. If we talk about third micro sensor, I am not really a fan of macro and I don't know how to take macro pictures. You can see a few samples, but the pictures may be much better in more experienced hands than mine. I also like the selfies on the Galaxy M15 5G. Portrait mode is available for the front camera. You know, I'm surprised by the night photos quality. The smartphone has a night shooting mode, but I didn't notice much difference from the normal photo mode. As already said, the Galaxy M15 5G records video in Full HD at 30 FPS. It has a video stabilization option in the settings, and it is better to turn it on. The video footage is really smooth. In addition, the video has good details. However, this is only during the day. At night, video quality is quite poor. Another feature of the Galaxy M15 5G is a big 6000 mAh battery. The smartphone also supports 25 watts fast charging. but you will need to buy a power adapter additionally, because it doesn't come in the package. You know, I usually do a drain and charge test of the smartphone, for example, like Poco C65. However, it takes a long time that I don't have right now. In a few days, I will make a video with drain and charge the Galaxy M15 5G battery. You will find it among the shorts on our channel, Tech Brothers. However, I must tell you about the battery life, so I started PCMark benchmark. As you can see, the battery life of the Galaxy M15 5G is 12 hours and 42 minutes. That's very good. Finally, let's talk about communication. As I already said, the Galaxy M15 5G has a hybrid slot for dual SIM cards. Both support 5G networks. In addition, the smartphone uses a 5G GNSS system for navigation. There is dual-band Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.3 support. You can also use Samsung Pay and Google Pay for contactless payments because the smartphone is equipped with NFC. So I have been using the Samsung Galaxy M15 5G for about 2 days, and I have some impressions of it. First, although the plastic body makes the smartphone feel cheap in the hand, its build quality is very good. You know, I don't think the plastic body is a problem, because I'm sure you will use a protective case. However, you will need to buy it additionally, because it is not included, as well as the power adapter. In my opinion, the display is the main feature of this phone. It is almost flagship level. This is a Super AMOLED panel with a Full HD Plus resolution and a 90 Hz refresh rate. I like it very much. The performance and cameras are just good for a budget phone. However, the battery life is very long. I will do a battery drain and charge test soon, but the PCMark benchmark says about almost 13 hours. That's very good. So the main advantages of the Samsung Galaxy M15 5G for me are the screen, software and battery. I think they are the best among budget smartphones. Thank you for watching this video. See you soon!